Today's message, love thy neighbor. This is one of the most important teachings of Jesus Christ. In today's world, many people are divided by politics, religion, and social status. We must remember the importance of loving our neighbors as ourselves. Through our actions, we can help build stronger and more inclusive community, spreading hope, joy, and kindness wherever we go. As followers of Jesus Christ, we are called to love our neighbors unconditionally, without judgment and prejudice. We should strive to treat others the way we want to be treated, demonstrating kindness, generosity, and respect no matter the circumstances. What it truly means to love thy neighbor, why it matters, and how we can put this into practice in our daily lives. So let's start by examining what Jesus had to say about loving thy neighbor. First, the Ten Commandments. To love thy neighbor. One of the Pharisees asked Jesus what the greatest commandment is, and he responds with the following. Matthew 22:37-40. You should love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And the second is like it. You should love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So what does it mean to love our neighbor as ourselves? For some, it might simply mean treating each other how we want to be treated. For others, it might be about going above and beyond to help those in need, even if it means sacrificing our own comfort or convenience. Taking time to understand, care for, and support those who live in our community, regardless of their background or beliefs. Loving our neighbor does not just mean being nice and polite. It means actively seeking ways to show compassion and empathy to those around us. This could mean lending a listening ear to a friend in need, volunteering our time to help those less fortunate, or simply being patient and understanding when someone is going through in a difficult time. Regardless of how we interpret this commandment, it is clear that loving our neighbors is an integral part of our spiritual journey as Christians. It's not just a recommendation or suggestion. It's a fundamental principle that underpins everything we do as followers of Christ. Second, the parable of the Good Samaritan. One of the most well-known stories in the Bible that illustrates the importance of loving thy neighbor is the parable of the Good Samaritan. We find the story in Luke chapter 10, verse 33-37. A man is beaten, robbed, and left for dead by the roadside. A priest and a Levite pass by, but it is a Samaritan, someone who would have been considered an outsider or an enemy, who stops to help the man. The Samaritan went to the man and bandaged his wounds, poured on oil and wine. Then he took the man on his donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. Jesus asked his listeners, which of these three men was a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers? They answered, the one who showed him mercy. Jesus then tells them, go and do likewise. The message of this parable is about more than just helping those in need. It's also about breaking down barriers between different groups of people and not letting prejudice or fear get in the way of showing love and compassion to others. We shouldn't let prejudice or fear get in the way of showing love and compassion to others. The Samaritan did not care that the man was a stranger or that he might not have approved of his backgrounds or beliefs. He saw someone in need and responded with love and kindness. Third, the importance of loving thy neighbor. Why loving thy neighbor is so essential? The answer is simple, because it reflects God's love for us. When we love our neighbors, we are demonstrating the same selfless love that God has shown to us. In 1 John chapter 4, 7-8 says, Beloved, let us love one another, because love is from God. Everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, for God is love. Loving our neighbor is not just about being kind or doing good deeds. It's about making an intentional effort to connect with others, to understand their struggles, and to treat them with the same dignity and respect that we ourselves desire. 4. How to love thy neighbor. So what are some practical ways we can love our neighbor? Here are a few suggestions. Start with a smile. A smile can go a long way in bringing someone's day and letting them know that they are seen and appreciated. Be a good listener. Sometimes the best way to show love to someone is by listening to them without judgment or interruption. Let them know that you value their perspective and care about what they have to say. Volunteer your time. Look for ways to give back to the community, whether it's through a local charity or a church, or by helping out a neighbor who needs a hand. Practice empathy. Try to put yourself in other people's shoes and view situations from their perspective. This can help you better understand their needs and how you can best serve them. Be a peacemaker. When conflict arises, look for ways to bring people together and find common grounds. Don't let differences and disagreements get in the way of showing love and compassion to others. Avoid finger pointing. Blaming others or accusing them of wrongdoing will only lead them to defensiveness or further conflict. Instead, avoid pointing the fingers and focus on finding a solution. Be a peacemaker. Jesus did not come to lead us into a revolutionary. He came to show us his love and to save the unsaved. John chapter 14:27 says, Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. Be a peacemaker. Jesus is reassuring and promising his followers his peace and encouragement not to be troubled or afraid. It is a reminder that through faith in Jesus, one can find true peace, which is different from the peace that the world offers. The world doesn't offer you peace or love. It offers you self-destructions. And it starts with material stuff. Then it continues with lust and desires of the flesh. Be a peacemaker. Stop pointing fingers and become a peacemaker leader. Jesus encouraged us to trust in him and his message of peace and comfort for those who want to follow him. Loving thy neighbor is one of the most important teachings of Jesus Christ. It's not just a nice idea or a moral principle. It is a commandment that we ought to live out in our daily lives. By treating others with kindness, compassion, and respect, we can experience the joy and fulfillment that comes from reflecting God's love to those around us. Let us remember the words of John chapter 13, verse 34 and 35. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. Brothers and sisters, whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him. We love because he first loved us. We cannot say we love God but hate our neighbor, because God is love. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Those who believe that Jesus is the Son of God, God abides in him, and he in God. God's love is perfect. Let us all strive to love our neighbor as ourselves and be a reflection, a shining light of God's love in the world today. In closing, remember, love thy neighbor. God bless you.